Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Thursday, March the 14th. Race number 8 at Oaklawn Park. We're going 3/4 of a mile. It's a 2-life allowance. Let's take a look at this field. Some promising runners in this race, even though we're going 4-year-olds and up. Medium Mogul, 8 to 5 on the morning line. Very lightly raced, never off the board from 5 lifetime starts. Encountered a little bit of late stretch trouble last time out. Don't think he would have won with a clean trip, but his figures make him a strong contender.
Yeah, two starts so far this year, two really good performances. He didn't win either time, Dan, but he ran well in both of those races. That trip really didn't work out that well last time.
Let's throw up the Timeform US pace projector for this race. There's not a lot of speed in here. I agree with Timeform US's assessment that this favors front runners. Maybe Zambizzi can get to the lead. He's never been up front at the pace call of any of his races. Flying Houdini's cutting all the way back from 1 1/8 to 6 furlongs. It's kind of questionable whether he'll get to the front. Moe's Treasure is a horse cutting back in distance. I wonder if the 2 Code 5 is going to be a lot more aggressive this time.
That's probably would be the right way to ride that horse. I mean, they tried to get aggressive with him off the long layoff last time, and it just didn't work out. He couldn't keep up, and it was a pretty bad performance, but I suspect he'll run better. And here, I have no idea who's going to be on the lead in this race. There's really no pace in the race.
Axton's shown a little bit of speed in the past, and maybe he'll be fresh. He's coming off a long layoff. We haven't seen him since this race, back on August the 6th, the first level allowance over a wet track at Prairie Meadows, and he got wired by the favorite in here. It was an okay performance. He ran third. This is a long layoff, but it's worth noting he won his career debut at Oaklawn last year at a big price coming from way out of it.
Yeah, it came from the clouds to win that maiden claiming race over this track. And then he got a little bit better as time went on, Dan. I thought he ran actually an underrated race here, just sort of stuck 4 wide on the turn there, chasing that pace. He couldn't really get into it, but I liked the way that he stayed on.
Code 5, the number 2, is an Arizona bred who made his career debut towards the end of 2022 in a restricted stakes race, and he won very easily with a 76 buyer. And unfortunately for Code 5, he then went to the sidelines for a long, long time. He faced Medium Mogul in a couple of these last time out. Brief speed, tired. I expect him to be tighter for this. He's not out of it.
No, he's not. I mean, you can be lenient on that last start. It's not, if you go back and watch the replay, it's not a pretty performance. I mean, he was hard ridden. He couldn't keep up. He dropped way back out of contention around the turn and got really tired. But maybe that's a good sign for him. Maybe he just really needed that race because his debut wasn't bad. I mean, he turned away a 1-5 favorite in there. He got away from that field readily. He got a figure for that race. I mean, he takes a step forward in here. He's going to be tough.
Here's the morning line favorite, the 3 Medium Mogul, coming in off this performance. A runner-up effort in a similar spot going 3/4. He's in the pocket behind the pace. The pace was solid. He's got to get to the outside and force his way out. And once he does, the gray horse in front of him is going to drift a little bit and cause him to swap leads and check a little bit. I'm not sure if he wins, but it wasn't the most ideal trip in the world. But does his running style work against him? It looks like he needs a setup.
Yeah, it does. I think you have to, especially if he's going to be a short price in here and he is the morning line favorite, you got to be concerned that they're not going to go in front of him because he really hasn't shown any speed in any of his races. And as well as he's run in those 2 most recent starts, Dan, I mean, he's coming from well in the back both times and trying to close horses down. And if they walk in front of him here, he could be in trouble.
The number 4 is Plausible Denial, and while he's only 1 for 17 in his career, I think he's getting a hidden class drop. He was in against First Level Allowance Company last time out. The 3rd place finisher that day is an 8-time winner. The 5th place finisher came back to win his next start against second level horses with a 92 buyer. That's a 3-time winner. Now he's in with fellow non-winners of 2 Life. So that last race was just much tougher than this one. And 2 starts back, he ran on at the end.
Yeah, that's true. I actually liked his performance 2 starts back. He got a really good closer's trip in that race, but he ran at the end and he made it close. He didn't run as well last time, but that was not a race that was really coming back for him. So maybe you just want to give him a pass for that one. He's a little hard to trust. It seems like there are too many races where he doesn't really show up with a good performance, but it's pretty clear. He's got 2 or 3 starts on his card that would make him real tough in here.
Another horse that just fits these conditions like a glove is the 5, My Uncle Leon. First start against winners last time out was at Ellis Park, going a demanding 1.1 miles. It was a slow-paced race where they went 1, 2, 3 all the way around the track. This horse was chasing 3 wide throughout. The runner-up came back to place in a first level allowance with an 89 buyer, then won with a 92. That horse is a 5-time winner, so My Uncle Leon drops in with 2 likes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how ready he is off of the layoff here too, because this horse, he's very lightly raced and he was just getting better with every start last year. Every time they sent him out there, he would continue to run well, but he would just take a step forward every single time. I don't mind them sprinting him off the layoff, Dan. It's just a question of how ready he is.
Zambezi, the 6, while he ran on for third last time out in the medium mogul race, I just don't think he ever got a comfortable position. He broke from the far outside post. He must have been 4 path on the backstretch through the turn, and he was still running on at the end. Now, Timeform US believes he can get to the front in here. If he can get close, he's a major contender from this attack post position. Your guess is as good as mine if that assessment from Timeform's correct.
I agree. I don't know who's going to be on the lead in here. Could be Zambezi. I wouldn't be surprised if they got a little aggressive with him here just to see what happens. I didn't really know, what to do with him, Dan. I think you're totally correct about his most recent start. He wasn't in a good spot there. He's wide chasing on the turn and just sort of couldn't really make an impression. I don't know what to do with him. I'm not a big fan. Going through all of his, prior races and on figures, he clearly fits in here and maybe he gets the right trip. Just don't really like any of his races, and he's going to be a short price.
Number 7, Flying Houdini's cutting all the way back from a 9-furlong race. He did show some tactical speed that day. We'll see if that route race dulls his speed as he turns back. His only win came on turf, so he has a lot of questions to answer.
Yeah, I mean, he really does. I mean, it's not a bad spot for a horse like him, especially if he can show a little bit of speed in here. But his dirt form so far, it's only 4 starts, pretty ugly.
Most Treasure is another horse turning back in distance. He does have a 7/8 of a mile win at Churchill Downs on his page. It looked like he was maybe rounding into form before a long layoff after that Ellis Park race 2 starts back. Showed speed on a wet track, tired. Again, Wayne Lukas wins at Oaklawn at prices.
He really does. Cutting this horse back here after showing speed last time. I mean, at a big price, I think you can keep an open mind. It's not like the race 2 starts back. I know it was last summer at Ellis, but that race gives him some kind of chance in here.
Before we take a look at our top selections, please click that subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Top pick time, race 8 at Oaklawn Park on Thursday. 2 life allowance. We're both going to go with medium mogul. Very consistent from a speed figure standpoint. Had that little bit of trouble last time out. It's all about whether this horse can stay close to the pace because he's going to need something to run at. I don't see the speed.
The trip's going to be really important for him in here, Dan. I like his last 2 races enough to put him on top, and ultimately, I couldn't talk myself into anybody here, so I didn't want to just, put one of these longer prices on top if I'm not going to bet him. I'll put medium mogul on top. The main thing for me is I didn't like the 6, and I think he'll either be the favorite or the close second choice, and I'm just not a fan of that horse.
And maybe Plausible Denial, your second place pick, a horse that has made a career out of runner-up and third place finishes, can get up for second on the little secret class drop. 3, 4, 5, 6 for Mike, 3, 6, 5, 4 for me. Thursday race of the day, the 8th at Oaklawn, approximate post time 4:22 Central. Good luck.